owner financing, right? So one of the biggest misconceptions is that owner financing is only when you can't get a traditional loan. Owner financing is not a good idea because it's hard to foreclose on people. Owner financing is not a good idea because it's a hassle. I gotta tell you, some of the wealthiest people I know that know a lot about money absolutely love owner financing properties. And I'm going to explain to you why and how the conversation sometimes goes with different people around owner financing. So why can owner financing be a really good idea sometimes? Well, I'll tell you, there's people that own properties outright. They're okay with renting. They like collecting rent. They like that passive income. They like kind of being the bank, but they don't like all the other stuff that comes with being a landlord, right? Having to deal with broken ACs, fixing a roof, fixing a window, complaints about the air conditioner, like all the other crap that comes with it, right? You got to pay taxes every year, property taxes, insurances. You got to keep up with collecting rent every single month is a little bit more difficult. And knowing that there's a lot of collateral. And then when the people move out, you got to worry about all the maintenance and everything else. When owner finance can be a really good replacement for all that. So I want you to think about it. When I ask a property owner, what do you like about being a landlord? I swear the only thing they say is, I just like collecting the money. When the money's easily collected, everything's perfect. I don't like all the other things. I don't like maintenance. I don't like complaints. I don't like having to chase people. I don't like having to file eviction. I don't like having to pay taxes. I don't like having to take care of all these other things. So I asked him, so if you could remove all those headaches and just collect a payment every month, is that what you would prefer to do? And I will tell you, overwhelmingly, 99% of the time, they say, yeah, I'd love to do that. And I say, well, why don't you want to owner finance? And then they say, what? I've heard it was scary, and I've heard it's hard to foreclose, and I've heard that it's a hassle. Well, I mean, it's no more of a hassle than being a landlord. And in fact, it's a fraction of the hassle being a landlord, because whenever you are owner financing it, they have ownership in the property. When you give someone ownership in the property, they're going to take pride. When they put a sizable down payment, 10 or 20%, they're going to take it serious now. They're going to want to take care of this thing. And instead of them calling you and saying, hey, my AC is broken, they can do it if they want to. But that's when it's okay for you to say, well, it's your property. You should fix the AC. I am just collecting the debt. I am strictly the bank on this thing. So whatever you got to do to get your AC fixed, go ahead and look into that. Make sure that gets taken care of. Let me know how that goes if you want to. Totally up to you. But your job as owner financing, make sure they keep up with their insurance, because that can come get you. Be second named on the insurance. Making sure they're keeping up with taxes. You can even escrow for both of those. You can run it like a bank. And even if you like to separate yourself in collection, you can choose a loan servicing company to actually collect and do all the escrow stuff for you. And you can bake that into the cost. You can say, hey, for $45 a month, our loan processing company will take care of all this for both of us. So that's what I'm passing that fee on to you, because I'm the bank, but I do not want to handle that collection part. I'm going to let them do that, and they'll let you know when they're 30 days late and all that good stuff. But owner financing can be a really great option. You got to think about it. If Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and all these huge banks do it, it's got to be pretty freaking secure if they put billions and billions of dollars into it. So if you know the big banks are doing it, and this is something that's built wealth for them for a really long time, it might be pretty smart for you to step in the place of the bank. And the cool thing about it is you behave like the bank. So you can charge origination fees. So up front, whenever you're looking at their credit and determining whether you want to owner finance to them, you're analyzing. You can charge origination fee to have your attorney draw up the docs and do all the other things to make sure it's all good to go. Typically, most people are going to charge whatever the going rate is. So they call it market plus 1, market plus 2. So if market right now is 6.25%, it's not unheard of to charge 7.25%, 8.25% over whatever the interest rate is, because that's the risk of you being the bank. So if they can't get traditional financing, you're stepping out and helping that with that a little bit. And sometimes it's not they can't get traditional financing because of credit. Sometimes it's just because their job history. They're a business owner and they write off too much in taxes, and they just can't seem to find the right program for them. But you have somebody. So like I have a situation right now where a landlord I know, they've rented the same people for like 13 years, and they are ready to owner finance it to them. Or they're ready to sell it to them, but they just can't get qualified through a traditional bank for the most part. So that owner finance process may be something that works for both parties very well. So it's also a great tax shelter for the investor, the person that actually owns the house outright. Obviously, it's an investment. It's not a homestead. So you are going to get hit with higher taxes. When you go to sell that thing, capital gain tax will kick in. You got to pay attention to that. I'm not a CPA. You should look into that. But I'm 99% sure that you're going to be on the hook for the profits that you make off that property. So just be prepared for the taxes that hit with that. When you get owner finance, you're going to be taxed basically on the amount you get up front, and you can do deductions and things as a business from that amount because you are a business and you're a bank owner financing that property. And then every month you get payments. Yeah, you're collecting interest, parts going towards principal. But as you service that debt and as you are the bank and you are, checking your product and doing all the other things, there are other write-offs and tax shelters within that too. Again, I would get with your CPA, but it stretches out the tax liability. The other part of it too is not just stretching out the tax liability. That 7 or 8% you're getting in interest, those interest payments are money over the principal that you would be making. So if you sold the house for $250, you'd be walking away with $250. You'd be hit, let's just say, generally speaking, you're hit 30% for taxes. You're on the hook for Uncle Sam for $30,000, $60,000, $75,000 or something like that on $250,000 if that's what you take home. So $75,000. The other direction, when you're charging interest, you sell it for $250 on an owner finance. They're making payments. You're making interest payments over 5, 10, 15 years. You're going to end up making $300,000, $350,000 because of those interest payments that they're making to you as the bank, which that $50,000 eats away at the $75,000 that you were paying in taxes. So it can be a wash for you, and it can absolutely help limit your tax liability. So owner finance could be a very, very smart thing for you to do. I would consider this as an option. Look into it. Again, get you a real estate professional. Make sure you have a great real estate attorney that can draw up all the documents and protect you. Do it at a title company. Do it the right way. File all the deeds and all the notes properly. All that stuff matters. Get you a good CPA to make sure all your taxes are in line and make sure you get maximum write-offs to protect your money. But when it's all said and done, owner finance may be the thing that you're missing out on that people haven't explained to you is a good opportunity for the rich to get richer, or for you to step in the role of the bank and protect your money, preserve some of your cash flow. Think about it. I hope this helps. I hope it's a great piece of information. Love you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.